All right, welcome back. Now, tomorrow is the start of the third Presidential Local Government Summit. The annual summit is the host of the Back to Basics program. This program was launched back in 2014, and its purpose is to help build a functional and developmental local government system that delivers on its constitutional and legislative mandate. This year's theme is transforming municipal spaces for radical social and economic development. Joining us this morning to take this conversation further is Rooyen, the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Minister, good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Palesa, and a very good morning to your viewers at home. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you so much for coming through. Now, talk to us about the changes, especially in terms of Back to Basics program, since its launch back in 2014. How have things been?
Back to Basic completed its first year, and there are lessons that we have picked up from the program. Of course, some are positive strides that have been made as a result of the intervention, but also some are clear indication of stubborn challenges that are still engulfing municipalities.
Yeah, and I want us to actually look at those positive strides and the challenges that are still remaining. Yes,
I mean, the positive strides, as has been confirmed by the AG's report, but also by the recent surveys that were released by States SA, we have seen an increase in provision of basic services to our people. But also we have seen stability that has been brought to some of our municipalities that were obviously having some problems in the past. And on the negative side, we have seen a lot of political instability and governance weaknesses that impacted negatively on the issues of service delivery. But important also is the question of financial viability of municipality. We have realized that because of the current unfortunate economic conditions that we find ourselves in, most municipalities find it very, very difficult, to realize what we term a viable revenue base for municipalities. And that leads, of course, to the entrenchment of the key problems that are facing the country, ranging from unemployment, poverty, as well as issues of dealing with inequality.
Because a lot of people are still not able to pay their services.
That leads to that, because obviously with the slowdown in our economy, people loses jobs, and as a result of that, people are able to have enough disposable income to take care of their expenses, including the payment of municipal services. So that put a lot of pressure on the financial status of municipalities.
And we do know, Minister, that the government is talking about radical economic transformation, especially this year. But how will you, or your department rather, manage the municipal space for the implementation of this radical economic transformation?
Firstly, we need to acknowledge that we are still stuck in the apartheid special way of development. I mean, the way our development patterns are spatially located, it's very clear that we still have a long way to go to reverse the spatial patterns as dictated to by the old order. So that's why even in this summit, we are putting priority on the need to ensure that all stakeholders, but also from an intergovernmental point of view, we play our role in terms of ensuring that we transform the economic space of municipality, but also we address issues of spatial patterns. So as at the end of the day, the municipal spaces are in a better position to ensure that there is economic activity that benefits all our people on the ground, but also there is economic activity that ensure that municipalities are able to be sustainable and resilient as expected by our National Development Plan.
All right, now let's focus a little on the Presidential Government Summit. It starts tomorrow, and Back to Basic program is just part of the summit. Talk to us about what will be discussed during the summit.
The Back to Basic program, as you know, as you have correctly said earlier, it was launched in 2014. Yeah. So this year what we'll be doing, we'll be taking stock of the progress that we have made in terms of implementing this program, but also looking at what are the challenges that need to be attended to. But also what is it that we need to do differently in the second phase of this particular program. And I can tell you there are 3 areas that have been identified as critical areas. The issue of infrastructure. We have invested a lot in infrastructure hitherto, but the biggest problem is maintenance thereof, and we will be focusing on that. But also, as I've indicated, one major aspect is how we will be dealing with issues of spatial patterns that is still a serious problem in our municipalities. And lastly, we will be dealing in one of the panels with the issue of our role in terms of ensuring that radical socio-economic transformation is realized at a local level.
All right. Now, Minister, we need to leave it at that. But just before I let you go, talk to us about Rooyen. What is happening? Because we heard that there's a week-long shutdown in that area. Do you know what is happening, and has government, tried to intervene?
Yes, we have been participate, as you know, in the spirit of intergovernmental relation. We have been last week we had our interministerial committee on Rooyen, and we received a report from the province, and of course we were aware that there was going to be a meeting over the weekend led by traditional leaders. And as we speak now, there are constant engagement with our provincial leadership to make sure that we stabilize the situation.
And it doesn't look like it's yielding any positive results, because this is not a new issue as such.
It's not a new issue, but as you know, I mean, it's also an issue that requires us to continue engaging with our people, and that's exactly what we are doing now.
All right, Minister, let's leave it at that, but thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much, Palisa.
Thank you very much indeed. There you have it. That's the Minister for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Rooyen, talking to us about the 3rd Presidential Local Government Summit, which will start tomorrow and end on Friday. They will be looking more into the positives, of course, and the challenges of the Back to Basics program that was implemented back in 2014. It's 22 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's time for your